What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another Heroes of Crown video. Today, guys, I promised you guys showcases, and here we are. We're actually going to start our first very own showcase on characters. I plan to actually go through most of the characters in the game so I can give you guys a deep dive of what characters are worth having, why they're good, and which ones are you want to avoid and not bother building. But today, guys, we're going to do a very special one. Okay, this one is going to be dedicated to Lady of Fury, Morrian herself. It's the one character that's out that everyone's been talking about, not only because how OP the character is, but also because how much of a dent it puts in your wallet. I happen to have her maxed out, so I figured, hey, why not start at the very top of the food chain and work our way down. So let's get into it, guys. I want to talk about a few things. Number one, how do you attain her, what it's going to cost, all right, how good is she, and then we're going to showcase her kit. We're going to go through her stats, what trinkets you want to use for her, and then lastly we're going to do some data for you and actually do some battles for single bosses and maybe do an abyss, kind of show you the data in terms of how much damage she does. Okay, so first thing I want to do is talk about the character herself, how do you attain her, and what she's going to cost you going forward in terms of getting her up to 12 stars. All right, so the first thing, guys, you're going to do is you're going to go to the Sanctuary Expedition. It opens up 22 days later after your server is released, so keep in mind she will not be available right away. A lot of people ask, how do I get her? 22 days after your server is released. So if you're joining a brand new server, you gotta wait. When this Sanctuary Expedition opens up, you'll have a whole page dedicated to her and other things. So what you want to do first is you want to go into the Sanctuary season. You want to complete the story mode. It is gated. You can only get to a certain point in there. But the key element here, guys, is collecting the rewards and then reading the storyline if you really care about the character, of course. And then you can go into the Sanctuary Treasure, go into the original stone shop, and actually purchase a copy of her right there for 200. Now, purchase a shard of her for 200. Okay, so these shards are going to be very expensive, and there is enough, I believe, to get yourself one whole version of her. So you may or may not be able to do it if you're free to play, but definitely as somebody who spends, you can definitely get a copy of her this route. Now this is where it gets really tricky, guys. Okay, after this, the only way to get her is through the Sanctuary Recruit. Now this is a wild one. Okay, so the way it works for her is you can have a 0.0001% chance to actually get the character. So it's almost next to impossible to pull the character herself. You'll actually be pulling shards the entire time, and you can get as many as 0 shards up to as much as 10. 10 is the max I've ever had. So it does cost quite a bit of money. Now to break it down, Canadian dollars, to get one copy of her costs roughly between $500 to $600. Okay, you need quite a few copies in order to max her out, and as you can see, I've done that already, right? So I don't think anybody should be spending this kind of money unless you can recuperate it as a streamer or somebody who can, put this towards taxes. So I don't think anybody should be spending their finances towards this. But hey, I did it so I can recoup my money anyways. We're good. So let's talk a little bit about what happens here. So every time you make a purchase, guys, you're gonna get these hearts, okay? These Fury of Destruction hearts. You can either buy the Gift of Chaos packages here. These are one-time limited, and keep in mind, once the event ends, it starts over again. So you can wait and buy these cheaper packages and go again if you really want to get her, right? I don't recommend going for these, guys. Wait it out. She's gonna be the Chaos character for a while, so I think she's gonna keep reappearing, and you can keep buying these packages after the event ends, which is, I believe, a week, 6 days from now. And then come back 6 days later and get these again. Anytime you make any other additional purchases, they will actually give you more of these, right? So top up bonuses. Every single time you have 500 reputation, which is the VIP reputation, you get yourself one of these as well. So the Chaotic Ascension bundle is not the only way to go. If you want to go other ways, you'll be rewarded. It also applies to the Chaotic Ascension bundle. So if you buy them, you get additional ones through this top-up bonus. Okay, so just as an FYI. So again, it is almost next to impossible, guys, to get her. It's right there. It is right there. 0.01%. Sorry. And then of course the shards are a lot more often. Sorry, let me go back here. And then you can get yourself other rewards throughout this whole thing, such as these ancient crystals for gear, for legendary gear, regular shards, gold, potions, reforged stones, and of course you can get yourself the tri-element elite shards and the dark and light ones, including some divine dust and the all 5-star heroic spirits. Now here's the thing, I saw a lot of yellows pop up, and when you see that yellows, it's like the best kind of summon you can have, right? Most of the time it's 5 shards or one of these. It never was that. So like I told you guys can do some calculation how much this cost me. It was a pretty penny, but this is the only way to get her right now, guys. Okay, so maybe down the line there'll be a different way, but right now this is the only way to get Morrian, Fury of Destruction. Okay, so without further ado though, let's jump into the actual character and talk about what she's all about and why she's pretty damn OP. Okay, so being a chaos character, as I mentioned, she has no weaknesses and she falls under every element. So you can put her in any place, she'll complement an element that's missing. Okay, so that's bonus number one. Number two, you get yourself a nifty little PFP, so a personal profile pick. If you get it to 12 stars, she actually has an animation. So this is the animation right here, as you can see, and you can see it on my screen here. She is actually animated right there. So that's kind of a bonus that you get. Nothing to spend money on, guys, but hell, it's kind of cool when you can do it. But the character itself has one of the coolest intro designs. Take a look at this. This looks insane. Like probably one of the best looking characters I've seen in any gacha game. And just the whole animation behind her looks so dope. But let's talk about what she's all about and why she's such an OP character. Okay, so first thing, she's a mage. She reduces rage and burst. She's a burst character. So what that means essentially, guys, is she's going to be a back character or a mid character, and her abilities, all her abilities, reduce one opponent's rage skill, which means it will stop somebody from pulling an ultimate. And she's super fast. She's like the fastest base character in the game. So she's gonna go first, most likely. And you want to add some speed trinkets to make it even crazier. And we'll talk about that in a second. And lastly, she's got an amazing burst. Burst is essentially is hardcore damage right from the get-go, not something that's like a dot or anything. It's just straight damage, right? So let's go through her moves. So at the third level, Doomsday Judgment essentially does 160% of her attack to all enemies and applies Weaken, which reduces damage by 15%, so you do more damage to them. Or sorry, they do less damage to you, and applying a healing reduction on them. So a 50% healing reduction, which is fantastic, because a lot of people in this game are still running 2 healers at a time. So this is a great way to make them very inadequate, okay? So this is an AoE that does incredible damage, all right? On top of that, her second skill, every time she does any moves, Morrian activates the power of the Gem of Destruction to inflict 200% of attack and damage to a random enemy unit. Morrian also absorbs 20 rage from that unit. So this move here is a single target DPS. Whenever this move hits somebody, it instantly takes 20 away. It's absolutely OP. And not to mention, when you open up her Awakening, which is her potential 10, it increases her speed by 5, making her even faster. So this move here is a game changer when it comes down to PvP or PvE content. All right, so keep that in mind. Her third move here, obviously this is a self buff. It's passive. It increases her HP by 40% and attack by 80%. This increases as you get her up to 12 stars, which is the maximum 12 right here, up there. And then lastly, this one here is pretty insane, and this is one of the main reasons why she's so self-sufficient, is the fact that all of her moves increase damage by 10%, and then also applies lifesteal to all of her moves. So every time she hits something with an AoE or a single target, she's getting lifesteal on top of that, which is recovering 30% of the damage she inflicts as HP. Again, making her absolutely the most self-sufficient character in the game. So I'm going to show you guys, as an AoE character, how much damage she does just because of this second move right here, alright? But we're going to show you that shortly. Now, we're going to talk about equipment for her. So trinkets are going to be very important, guys. So trinkets, if you don't know how they work, they give you base stat increases by percentages, and then they also give you 2 buffs, alright? These buffs are random, so you're going to have to reforce to get the ones you want, and it does cost quite a bit. So they range from blue, which is the base, like the lowest one, to purple, which is like epic ones, then to orange, and then lastly to red, which is mythic, legendary and mythic. Mythic is the highest, and the only time you can get red is on red chaos talismans. Okay, so what you want to aim for her is you want to aim for Fury, which gives her 20% or 25% at the mythic level damage increase. You want to give her the crit damage one if you can get that, and you want to give her the speed one, rapid. So those are the 3 main ones you want to aim for. So I'm going to try this out. Like, see, Gambit's pretty good too. When HP is lower than 30%, increase critical damage by 34%. But really, you want to give her the HP above 60%, because she's always usually on top of that, right? And this is useless for her. It's irrelevant. So I'm not going to go with that. We're going to keep this. Advanced combo is actually really good for her as well too, because she can do her base basic attack by 34% chance, and she can also do the rage steal again on that. So that's a really cool move to work on as well too. So advanced combo is actually a really nice one to have with her, so that's not too bad. But you definitely want to get red talismans on her, guys, because red talismans give you entry speed by 10% increase for 1 round, making her go even faster for the first round and absorb the rage and do a ton of damage, right? So it's extremely important, guys, to have the proper trinkets on her. The actual Sai that I use for her is the Sartan Sai here with the freeze. It increases her attack by 5%. I've obviously made mine +3, but it also gives her a damage boost, and at the same time has a chance to freeze opponents. So that's a well-needed CC for her, a crowd control that she doesn't have, and it's a great way to increase her damage output. All right, and then of course for gear, here's the thing with gear. I have legendary gear. I have the 4-piece set. I mean, most people don't even have this whatsoever. So just give her your best master gear for now, and then work on getting the Goddess of Judgment Divine gear for her, which is the 4-piece set, which essentially increases her damage, attack, and crit by 10%. And then when you can activate the 4-piece, which is called Might. When inflicting a crit on an enemy, there's a 10% chance to increase his hero's damage by 100%, which is wild for 1 round. She does insane damage. I'm going to just show you guys real quick here while you're enhancing. For blessings, you want to give her HP and attack, mostly attack, though attack's going to be what you really want to push for her. So that's what you want across the board for all the gear that you can get. But again, most of you will not have this, so don't worry too much about it. All right, moving on to Ascensions. Oh, sorry, Awakenings. Awakenings, this is extremely important. The potential 10 is really good. The potential 20 is even better because it also can remove a random buff from an enemy. And then the last one is wild because it increases her damage output by 15%. So my goal is to be getting to this here. Most people who have her will do the same. But in order to open up your actual Awakenings, you have to get her to 11 stars. So that's going to be everyone's goal, guys, is to push her to 11. Sorry, not 11, 10. And go from there, right? So this is essentially the character, guys. So again, extremely OP, and I'm going to show you guys real quick some animations and what she's all about. And let's just, by doing so, we're going to go into limited events here, and we're going to jump into, actually, I'm going to show you real quick the comparison. Okay, so I have my Elementalist here, which is 80, let's say 850,000 power CP, and she is, what do we say, 764 million. Oh, 764,000, sorry. So roughly about a little under 100k power difference. Okay, so let's just go into the battle and see how this looks. So I'm going to do a mythic trial. This is just against a single target boss, and I'm going to show you guys what she can do. All right, here we go. So this is my team here. I've got Marlock here for crit, damage increase, and lifesteal. I've got Grail, I've got Morrian, I've got Lilith for debuffs, and lastly I've got Valkyrie for the attack buff increase. Okay, so let's start it off here and let's show you guys what she's all about. So animation wise, you're going to quickly see Lilith starts off with debuffs. Grail's gonna do her AoE. Okay, and I've given them, and there's her ultimate right there. Look at that, guys. That looks absolutely incredible. And there's that single damage I was talking about. You reduce the rage right there, and that's a lot of damage coming through from her. Okay, we're gonna increase these guys real quick here. And what I want to do, the reason why I'm gonna increase the speed here on this is because I want to show you guys the ultimate damage that she can pull off. So we'll see at the end of this fight through the data how much damage she does. I just want to show you guys the lifesteal though as well too, right? Like, watch, look at that lifesteal. Like, look at that. That's insane, right? So, and that's why you just saw there she did an extra attack there of a combo. That combo trinket bonus allows her to pull off more damage and recover more HP, and again reduce rage. So it's extremely important, guys, to have the proper trinket combinations in there to make her even more OP than she already is. All right, so let's increase the speed here and exit this battle and come back into it. It should be almost done. Yeah, so we're gonna go 6 out of 15 rounds here, guys. We're gonna just watch the numbers just skyrocket, and we're gonna look at the data at the end. Again, I'm comparing her to Grail. Now, my Grail, my Elementalist, also has a 3-star exclusive weapon, which boosts her power even more, and Morrian does not have that. Okay, so let's see the difference. I'm assuming they're gonna be very close to one another in terms of damage output, but I don't know who's gonna be the overall highest. Okay, so this is my highest so far. Look at data real quick. Look at that. Are you guys seeing that? Look at that damage. Just look at that damage. This is a AoE character, guys. This is a character whose most damage comes from hitting other units, not just one single target. Now her ultimate hits 5 times or 3 times or something like that, some crazy amount. Look at the difference, guys. She is 100k less CP than Grail, but did 4 times the amount of damage. So I hope this shows you guys why she costs so much money. If you guys ever doubted an OP character costing a lot of money, and you know, you're like, is she worth it? If you have the money and you care about this game, she's worth it. But again, I don't condone whaling. If you can't afford it, guys, please be smart. It's a game. Licenses go away, game shut down, your money will be gone. If you can't recoup it, don't spend it. But that is Morrian in a nutshell, guys. Easily the top tier character in this game right now. Probably will be for quite some time. I am lucky as hell to have her, and I hope the showcase kind of gave you guys the thrill of seeing what she's all about. And if you guys plan to get her, hopefully this pushed you to try to acquire her. All right, guys, this is Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good one. We'll do more showcases in the future. Take care.